Okay. Hello and welcome again to Project Cars Drivers Club Season 3. We are at the finale of the Touring Cars series currently. This is week 6. We are at Sonoma Raceway in beautiful, I think it's California? I don't know. We're back in the United States for this one. I know that much. It's in the desert. It's hot. It's hot out. It's nighttime, but it is hot out. My volume is up on my stream. I need to turn that down. Alright. So, as you can see, pretty small grid. The points for the championship have basically been decided already. We went, before the race, everybody kind of went through and calculated points and was like, well, there's not a lot to do here. So we've got a bit of a joker race here of we're doing a 10-minute qualifying, and then we're gonna have a reverse grid race so that everybody can actually get some battles in here, because everybody else decided not to turn up because they already have their position in the championship. So we're doing a little oh, Jeff. Oh no. So we're doing a little fun race here, I guess. I think points are still going to be counted for this. I think Jav and one other person were kind of in like 4th or 5th place in the standings that might be altered by the points here. So there's a little bit at stake, but not really. So it looks like we got Apex in the lead, Errol in 2nd, and Hav in 3rd. And Kerman got some penalties in the 10-minute qualifying, and I don't think he's... Well, he might be able to get this lap in. No. Maybe not. Alright, so... Kerman managed to sandbag himself to the front, or maybe he'll actually start in the back still, since he didn't put a time in. I think that's probably what'll happen, is he'll start in the back. So yeah, that should be it. We'll double check on the standing screen here. Yeah, that's Apex in 1st, Errol 2nd, and Jav 3rd, Paulie 4th, and Bill without a time. So Bill should, I think, be starting last, and then Apex in front of him, Errol in front of him. Paulie will be leading us off on the lead lap here, and we'll do the pre-show roll here. Race 6, Sonoma Raceway short. It's kind of a tricky track. There's like 3 different varieties, and it's kind of hard to keep them straight. So it's important to get practiced up on the specific. You might know Sonoma, but you might not know every version that's used. Hello, Darkness, my old friend. It's a night race, Dustin. Thanks, Bill. I hadn't noticed. Expected lap times, we're looking at probably minute 17s in the race. Look, I don't know I think we're hitting about minute 18s in quali at times, so we'll see what happens there. As you can see, the turn numbers are all goofy because of the multiple layouts. There's 3s and 3A and 8A, 9A. I can't keep them straight, and I won't expect anybody else to. You can probably hear our grid forming in the background there. They'll be off on a formation lap once they're rolling, and we'll catch back up with them. But for now, we'll look at the danger zones. 3A has a blind exit. It's a high-speed right-hander over a crest. You can't see where you're going, so you kind of have to just know your trajectory over that turn and know how wide you can go and how fast you can go. If you're not hitting the right, if you don't hit the apex right, it's so easy to just get tossed off like a I'll let your imagination fill in what you what you might toss off the side of the road in Sonoma. 4A exit is a quite awkward 90-degree right-hander. There's some strict track limits there, so you can't go super wide. That one, yeah, it's a little tricky. I don't know what else can be said about that one. If you haven't driven Sonoma, you know exactly how. If you have driven Sonoma, you know exactly how awkward some of these corners can be with their elevation changes. The pit wall tire barrier on the start-finish straight sticks out like 1.5 feet. So you might be riding that yellow line, and you can very easily clip that tire wall and just ruin your race. Next danger zone is wherever this guy is. Which, Sam, I know I promised you I'd bully someone else next time, but looks like it's back on you, bud. But Sam's actually not on the grid today, so looks like it'll be that much safer. Norton's strategy guide. Today, Norton brought us the wisdom that nobody's really seriously practiced for this race. So, YOLO, burn some tires, burn rubber, not your soul, man. Here's the Season 3 standings, which will probably be the final standings, with Echo winning the championship, Zedian in second, Bill third, and have fourth. Team Renault has taken the manufacturer's challenge here. We'll catch back up with our racers. There we go. So that is Paulie. Are we off and running yet? No, Paulie pitted. I don't know what's going on. I think they're starting. I think they're going. No. No, they're not. Alright, they're doing one more lap. They got formed up. I think Paulie needed to go to the pits or something. Had to take a pee break before he started racing. Or something. And it looks like they're going to all form up on Paulie, which should be the proper reverse grid. So Paulie leading us off in the pole position on the reverse grid race, and Hav behind him, Errol behind him, Apex in fourth, and Bill Kerman in the back of the pack. It's also going to be a shorter race here. Since we have lower numbers, we're just going to do a 25-minute sprint race here. Which might not seem like a sprint to some people, but it's about as short as our races get. So we'll take a quick look at these standings to see if anybody has anything they can really do here. Oh, it was fourth and fifth. There's Hav and Apex that are pretty close on the points here. So that's actually the battle we'll be looking for between Hav and Apex. Hav has 68 points in his Opel, and Apex has 65 points in the BMW, and there will be enough points out there to change that position around. So they're off and running. We'll see what happens here. We'll get on board with Errol here on the first lap of the race. Getting a little squirrely over those crests. Errol getting side by side, making a move already, and he gets pushed out. It was too ambitious. Too many people got way too close together there. And it looks like Apex, or no, that was Kerman trying to make a move around Hav there. So that's Apex up into second. Errol drops back into 5th place in the back of the pack. But he is not too far behind Kerman there, so he is very much still in the fight. As Hav goes very wide, see if he can rejoin safely. Looks like Bill got the inside to the final corner here, and Hav drops back into 4th place. Here's Errol's view from the back. Now, Paulie hasn't had a pole start like this season, I don't believe, but he has been extremely consistent this season. He's really been having a good season in every series, so he might be able to take a good podium away from this. Errol gets a really good run on the inside of Hav around that corner 4 and tucks back in, doesn't quite keep the momentum through there. You need a really wide line to use all of the track to actually maintain significant momentum through that corner. Paulie, Apex, and Kerman keeping within 2 seconds of each other here at the front. Looks like Errol and Hav are not finished fighting it out for P4 yet. It's hard to tell where they are on the track at night. Just gonna say that right now. Here we are in the first couple turns. Here's that right-hander over a crest. And through the dip into another left-hander. And here's that blind corner exit that is so tricky. And then corner 4. As you can see there's a lot of runoff, but not much of it usable. Apex is looking real hungry. Right up on Paulie's bumper. Errol's sticking to Hav pretty well. Errol's looking like he wants to make some moves on Hav here. Hav going wide again. Hav's really been pushing it hard this race. He knows he's got some points at stake in a possible championship position, and it looks like it's getting to him as Errol passes him up. Apex just took the lead. Run the inside of Paulie on the outside now. Still too wide. Not quite. Is Bill Kerman going to take the back door here? No, he's not. I think Paulie can slot in and protect second at least. We've got a 3-way on our hands now, boys. Menage. And Bill sneaks on the inside. Overtakes Paulie deftly. Looks like Bill gave him the old over-under there. Paulie kind of took it conservatively early Apex to protect the inside, but Kerman got a good exit on the late Apex. Paulie goes off, hits the tire wall. That's bad news for him. Might not be too bad a damage with that contact. Looks like he kind of just scraped him, and he is keeping up so far. We'll see what becomes of that. Kerman is looking real hungry on Apex now. That's that dangerous corner where it's so easy to take the wrong line and give someone else the advantage. But it looks like Apex gotten a good run on the back straight. Oh, hard to see what's going on there at the last turn. Oh, the BMWs are getting close. It's going to be a battle of the Bimmers. Paulie surely is not giving up either. He is right there. If one of these Beamers steps out, he's still in the running to take some good position here. And there's that O'Reilly corner again where it is really easy to make a pass there. There's multiple viable lines, but it's really difficult to be defensive there. It's sort of a wide, slow-speed corner, so you can outmaneuver a person pretty easily there. Into the final corner. Looks like Paulie's right there with him here. Yeah, Paulie's front-wheel drive kind of catches up to him in the corners, but on these fast sections drops back a little bit. I'm noticing the straight line speed of that BMW is nothing to be trifled with. Bill angling for a move. No, that's another turn where you think you can get some momentum on somebody, but there's not too many viable lines through there, so it's really hard to retain that momentum. As is evidenced here, Paulie catching up to Bill losing a little bit of time by taking a sort of alternate line through corner 4. Paulie getting a real good run on him. Apex just sticking to the racing lines here and getting the most speed. Here we go into the final corner. Let's get on with Paulie to see what happens here. Bill taking a wide line. Paulie trying to make the most of the apex here, get on the bump on the curb a little bit. But Bill manages to get some exit speed out of there, and looks like he'll be catching up with Apex there. Bill got a very good exit out of there. Looked like he went too wide, or like more wide than he should to retain his momentum, but he manages to really catch up to Apex on this first part of this lap here. Hav's just kind of alone back there. Errol's kind of left him. I don't know what's going on with Hav. He's went wide and off into the dirt a couple times this race. Not sure what the deal is there. Oh, and Bill goes wide. Dips 2 tires onto the sand, 2 on the curb. That may even be penalty worthy, but it seems like he lost time due to it, so he's just gonna have to deal with that. And Apex is keeping it steady as ever up there. Apex has been gradually hardening his resolve through this season. He's really had a lot of opportunities to lead the pack, and he's gotten better and better at dealing with pressure behind him. I gotta say, it's been a great season for Apex. Oh, Kerman is just nut to butt with Apex going through this section. Oh my. Let's get a camera of that, see how close he is. He is really not letting him get away any. We'll see if Kerman can keep from pushing too hard. He takes the outside line here, trying to get the over-under again, but Apex sticks to the inside where he needs to. Pauly with a 2-second penalty. That is unfortunate for him. The first penalty of the race, surprisingly, we've had a few offs, but apparently Pauly's the only one that's gained anything out of it to warrant a penalty. And he probably didn't really gain anything to begin with. But oh well. What do you do? Oh, Bill going hard to the outside. Trying to make an unexpected move around the outside, and he keeps his momentum. Apex slots in behind him. That's that move done and dusted. Absolutely decisive pass there from Bill. That was amazing. Apex sticking with him. This right hand kink onto the final straight. Nice and easy through the final hairpin. Looks like Bill slipped out a little bit there. And Apex slipped out a little bit now. How far back is Pauly? Pauly's 3 seconds behind Apex here. And Harold sneaking up to Pauly, actually. Harold's only 2 seconds behind Pauly now, so we've got a battle formulating here. Apex has not given up on Bill yet, but Bill is slowly inching away from him. Alright, it looks like Harold is going to be catching up to Pauly here. He's got the pace. Yeah, Harold's kicking in overdrive here, and now Apex has a 1 second penalty. Yeah, we should have just turned track limits off for this race, honestly. It's not really worth the penalties with this circuit and grid combo. But oh well, there's Harold hopefully not getting a penalty because of that. It looks like he had his car fully over the line, but that's alright. He's gonna keep on trucking, trying to get that gap to Pauly down. And we are under 10 minutes left in the race now. Oh. Looks like Apex has caught up to Bill again. He's got a 1 second penalty still, but Apex is making up for it. Bill is fully off. And that's Apex sneaking into the lead now. Yeah, that was that blind right-hander where it's way too easy to just overcook it and wind up in the dirt. Luckily, Bill keeps his nose forward and manages to hold on to some time. But it can be a real killer if you go off there in that dirt. It's really easy to spin or just go all the way to the wall. So that was a good save on his part. And it looks like the battle for first is back on. So Bill is well within the 1 second mark of where he would need to be to finish in front of Apex. But looks like they're gonna battle it out anyway. We're having fun here with this race. We're here for the racing. Bill's not trying to eke out a points victory here. He's trying to have some fun, and it looks like he's gonna have it. Looks like Harold has not caught up to Paulie. I think Paulie's picked up his pace a little bit there. Bill around the inside at the final corner. Is he going to get the over-under? Or the under maybe in this case. Side by side on the start-finish straight. And it looks like Apex got the better run of it. Got the inside. There's a lot of room for Bill to work with around that first corner. And he's making the most of it side by side up into the hill section here in Sector 1. Oh my goodness, through that dip. Very nice, very nice. So that's Bill into the lead again. Apex on his bumper. Looking about taking the inside through this. I forget what the corner's called. I'm going to call it O'Reilly Corner because that's the sponsor on the inside, but we're not sponsored by O'Reilly's, so I don't care if you go and buy car parts from there or not. Looks like Bill's got a great run in the final sector here. The camera angle for the last corner is just trash. So here's Paulie, nearly 5 seconds from Apex, and Harold's still trying to make the most of things and catch up with Paulie there. He's been within view of him for a good handful of laps. You can kind of see in on the cockpit view how wild these elevation changes are here in the first sector. It is really, really difficult to keep a car stuck to the track in the first sector. There's a lot of crests and dips that you have to contend with. In higher downforce cars, it's not as much of an issue. The touring cars are definitely in that range where they can really be unsettled by some loss of G's and mechanical grip. So we're under 5 minutes here. We got 4 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the race. Apex still within reach of a victory here. Despite his 1 second penalty, he still could eke out a first place. Boy, am I glad that we decided to cut the race length in half. Because aside from this, nothing's really going on yet. We'll see what precipitates in the dying laps of this race. Though we got some real wide action on that corner 4 that we'd mentioned. I forgot I can control the roof camera. I always forget that. There's no point in doing it, but it's pretty fun. Three minutes left now. Just a handful, 2 or 3 laps left in the race. We'll see if Apex can make up that second that Bill has gained. We'll tune into driver radio here for the last couple laps of the race and see what happens.
I mean, baseline setups are good and all, but you need to tweak them a bit.
I think the main thing's just tire pressures.
I literally never touch tire pressures.
Thing for me has been aero. The thing that improved the Mercedes a lot from default for me was the camber.
Oh, it looks
really
like
had to
Harold's
play about with the camber to get this thing to turn right.
possibly within range of Polly here.
Yeah, you can do quite a bit with camber.
Yeah,
The
Harold
thing
might
that
get it
the
done.
Mercedes has lacked on is straight line ability. It's just not very quick in a straight line.
We'll go on for a lap with Harold here.
I've struggled to sort of get any more out of it.
Here's that turn 3A. And there's that curb that comes in at last second to save your life. And that turn 4, we'll see if he can get some good momentum through here. It looks like he does. Through the O'Reilly curve, that tricky hairpin.
Snapped on me big time.
Uh-oh.
Go away.
Looks like Kerwin messed
I don't
up.
want to see you.
A little bit of banter.
Did you have a moment, did it?
Yeah. Where you tried to bite my head off.
Uh-oh, and I don't think they're going
Topping
to...
up my electric has helped Harold catch up.
I don't think they're going to cross the... They got 1 lap left. I don't think they're going to cross the line
I'm
in
not
time.
feeling that confident in my rear tire, so I need to back
We're gonna
off,
keep
but
going.
at the same time Apex is right there.
I've got loads of tread on my rear tires if you need to borrow some.
Harold not
Yeah,
quite...
give me some. Come on.
Harold not quite making it happen yet.
It.
Come here, Bill.
I wanna.
I just want to talk.
I don't believe you.
Apex is really going in on
You
him.
know, Apex.
Oh, he does have 3 seconds now. Good call, Polly.
Sliding is a way of life.
They're gonna race it out to the finish here.
Stay steady, stay steady, stay steady. Ah!
Oh no, an Apex goes up, smacks a board. Uh-oh.
He done
That's
goofed it up.
with a beautiful 540. 720 even. Really tremendous pirouettes from Apex. Is he gonna get passed by Paulie? Has he lost it? He has, and Harold. Oh my goodness, that is upsetting. Oh wow. Yeah, they really snuck in at the last second on the last lap.
Damn, you dropped to 4th.
One corner left.
Oh,
I
shit.
have a penalty though, so.
Yeah, Paulie does have a penalty, so
I mean,
Apex
but
might
there's
make up a...
penalty.
Oh
He
yeah.
has one too, a larger one, so.
Alright.
Me third.
That was interesting.
First podium for the Mercedes.
Well, it's gonna be worth like a point or so.
First podiums, you mean?
I figured, why not risk it on that corner?
2 podiums for the Mercedes. 5 people in the race, it's not really worth anything. But
So that's a win for Bill. Harold in second, Paulie in third. Hey boys.
Right.
Ugh,
What a race. Ugh.
I figured instead of bothering with interviews, I'd just hop into driver radio and we could chat it up for a few.
Well, we've got 2 Mercedes on podiums, so there's only 5 people in the race, though.
I hope you caught our battles, Dustin.
Oh yeah, I think I caught everything that happened in that race actually. It's the one, the one race where I could do all the camera work I wanted to.
Hey, it's something.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was fun though. There was some good fights in there.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Hav, what happened to you? You were all over the place.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get a groove going, and it just wouldn't handle the way it was handling practice, and I was just slow, just overall slow.
And sorry for the early dive bump. The car didn't break at all.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I cut you off or what, but
No,
I let you go a little bit
My-
after that.
My car didn't break at all. It just went straight on.
Yeah, I was understeering. I was understeering everywhere, over every hill, on that fast right before the hairpin. Oh my god, I just could not get the car to handle the way I wanted.
I gotta say though, it's I mean that a lot of the people in this race, you guys have really like come into your own during this this season, and that just kind of more evidence like Apex and Paulie's been super consistent this season too, really going strong. Have you been doing great this season too? You've been a lot of fun to watch. This race didn't go too hot, didn't look like, but you guys have been going strong this season.
Yeah, I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of my wheel.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. You just got your first racing wheel like right before this season, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really impressive growth for you. Because once you get a racing wheel, you have to like learn how to drive again.
Yeah, basically. It's been a long process for sure.
Like having a racing wheel, it's not like, I mean, it's similar, but not like driving in real life, and it's not like driving with a controller or anything either. It's its own thing completely.
Yeah, you really need to get used to it.
But it's so much fun though.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more immersive, even for someone who doesn't have VR or anything like that. It's more, it feels like you're racing, you know?
Get a feel for the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shoot. Good race, good season, boys.
Well,
It's been a season, and it hasn't
It's
been
been a season.
it hasn't been explicitly bad. It hasn't been explicitly bad, so I'm gonna say it's good. It could have been worse.
we'll get back there.
From a
Maybe.
spectating standpoint, there's been a lot of fun racing anyhow, regardless of, grid size or anything. There's been some
Yeah.
really great sportsmanship
mean-
in racing.
The touring cars would have been fun. I think just the races were a bit too long and people were just too lame to turn up.
So do
I
we
mean,
know
we
what
know-
Do we know what the next set of cars is? GT4,
I
GT1?
think Paul is trying to get the announcement out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hang on, guys.
Yeah, we got the announcement coming, which I think we'll discuss for endurance. I won't be on air for that discussion probably, but yeah, we got an announcement coming. I don't know if there's going to be any restructuring for how we do next season, or if anything's been decided really, but we'll find out.
So support champion has been decided by 6.5 points. Is me.
Nice, congrats, Polly.
You rigged the numbers.
Second, Echo's Eddie in third, and main. I haven't done that yet.
Dustin,
Echo
are you
is-
not going
Echo
to be
is
here
champion.
for
Nice.
the endurance race?
What?
Are you going to be here for an endurance race
Yeah.
next week?
What cars is the endurance race with?
GT3.
GT3.
Oh, GT3, nice.
Oh yeah, I should mention on stream here, just in case anybody is tuning in for the endurance race, we changed the cars to GT3 at Bathurst just so people can have some more fun. We were gonna do crossbow and touring cars, but that would have been silly. I was kind of looking forward to it. It would have been kind of goofy and fun, but GT3 everybody seems pretty interested in as usual.
There's just some really good cars in GT3.
There are actually some beautiful. I wish I could drive them all. Like I've got my favorite. I'm an Audi guy, but I wish I could drive all the GT3s. They're all so much fun.
Yeah.
Got a lot of personality there.
The coolest thing is that there's so many cars.
Yeah, it is. I don't want to be in the GT3 circle jerk, but I do love if you look at my profile, I've got my second. I think I've got my most time in the Audi GT3. It's they're just a lot of fun, and no matter what, there's like a cool car to drive. That's like your brand that you like and your car that you like, and yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I think the main thing about GT3 compared to maybe faster classes or slower classes is that you really can drive a GT3 car nearly everywhere. Whereas if you take an LMP2 car, it's just going to be too quick, for example, for Bathurst or something like that.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And you and I have had the discussion on, car speed versus, track design, and GT3 is one of those cars that can go nearly anywhere. Our Rapona Park race in GT3 was pushing it a little bit for that car, I feel, but that was still super successful and a lot of fun to drive.
You mean, Dustin, I can't take the FA car, the Formula A cars on the kart circuits?
You sure can try. You try record it and let's see what happens. But yeah, so endurance, we're doing, I think 2.4 hours of Bathurst. Is that still 2.5-ish hours thing? That should be a good time. That's next Saturday.
Talking about good, have you guys ever tried doing karts in Monaco?
Nope.
Never.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Oh, dude, that's like glorious.
Sounds like a good time. The Rapona Park, I feel, would be good for karts too. You can actually get going pretty quick, and it's still tight enough to. All right. Well, let's wrap this up before we start digging into the announcement. We'll all get distracted.
Let's do that.
Yeah, good race, good season, everybody. If you guys want to throw some shout outs, go for it.
Shout out to
Dustin.
Dustin.
Hey, thanks. And I want to shout out Bill for his beautiful. Okay, see you, Polly. I want to shout out Bill for his beautiful graphics work that he's been doing for this season. Amazing stuff.
Why, thank you. And thank you for talking about ostrich racing.
Yeah, anytime. Literally anytime. Literally anytime I'll talk about ostrich racing. Just bring it up. I'm there. All right. Well, good stuff. Good race. Good night, everybody. PCDC.link if you want to join us for next season. We'll see you next week for the endurance race at Bathurst. Goodbye.